Hey guys, KK Plush Productions here, and today I will be showing off my Angry Birds plush collection. First up are the red plushies. This is the first ever Angry Birds plush I ever got back in Christmas of 2013. This is actually my secondary red plush that I'll be using in my videos. For example, in the Hugs and Kisses video, I used a Redbird plush to represent Rovio. This is the one I used. This one is the one I use as the normal red. You can see he's a little bit more squat, smaller head feathers, all that. Next up we have the pencil topper red, and then Ruby, or girl bird, or female redbird, or whatever have you. Then super red from space, and finally the movie version of red. Next up are the bluebirds. First up we have the original Bluebird plush, the updated Bluebird plush, the Lightning Bird, and the little pencil topper Bluebird. So I'm sure as you've noticed in my videos that there are 3 different Bluebirds. We have Jay, Jake, and Jim. These are the names that have been given to them in the official Angry Birds games, and I decided to use different plushies so you can tell the difference between them all. Also, fun fact, the original Bluebird plushie has 3 tail feathers instead of 2 like it's supposed to. So hopefully you'll be able to sleep tonight. Next up are the Chuck plush toys. First up is the first Chuck plush I ever got. This is the 3rd plush overall, second being the updated Bluebird. My second Chuck plush, you can see his eyes are raised up a bit. And finally, the 3rd Chuck plush. This is the one I use in my videos. Oh, and I can't forget the little Chuck pencil topper, as well as the 8-inch Chuck plush. And finally, the Laserbird plush toys. Oh, and I almost forgot. I have the movie version of Chuck. This is the 11-inch version of the plush that talks. Someone has anger issues. Yeah, that would be Red. He is very angry. This is a series about angry birds, after all. Next up is Bomb. This is the first Bomb, and this is the second Bomb. Unfortunately, the stitching around his eyes is coming loose, so that's quite unfortunate. Then we have the pencil topper, and the 8-inch Bomb, and Space Bomb, or Fire Bomb, if you will. Also forgot to mention, this is the bomb that I use in my videos. Next up are the Whitebird plushies. First up we have Matilda, then a totally unrelated female Whitebird. This is the one from Hugs and Kisses. However, in my video I used it simply as Matilda, but with makeup on. So this bird was originally supposed to be a love interest for the original Whitebird. However, this was back when the original Whitebird was male and they were not given names yet. So this character is now obsolete because they made the original Whitebird look more like this Whitebird, minus the bow and the pink belly, because they still have this bone. And then we have the pencil topper. Next up we have the Hal plush toys. This is the original one with the yellow ring around its beak, based off the pre-chrome design. This one can also open its beak, so that's really cool. And then we have the new updated plush for Hal. This one cannot open its beak. It's based off the chrome design, but for some reason they made him not open his beak. So that's kind of sad. I'm sure you can tell by the way the plushies look that I've had this one for much longer than I've had this one. This one I got a few years ago on eBay. I do not remember the price, but I remember it being really decent. How? What was it? Oh, really? Interesting. I don't know what he's saying. I don't speak bird. Next up, we have Terrence. First, the 5-inch Terrence, and the 5-inch Incredible Terrence, also known as Monster Bird. Next up, we have the candy-addicted bird, Bubbles. And then we also have his inflated version. He's got like extra padding or stuffing under his cheeks or something for some reason. I don't know why. Next up is Stella. First, we have the 8-inch Classic Stella, and then the 5-inch Stella plush based on the Angry Birds Stella series. Both of these actually originally belonged to my sister, but she let me have them for the videos. I also do not have the 5-inch version of the Classic Stella plush, however, I will get it once it is needed for the back to school video. Next up we have Icebird. Rovio, please give this guy a name other than Icebird. And then we also have the Mighty Eagle. the Mighty Mojo version. I can't believe the original is like twice the size. Man, this is big enough, I would say. And while this is not an official Angry Birds plush, this is the Wild Republic Bald Eagle plush. I use this as a stand-in for Mighty Eagle in my Red Wants to Be in Smash video. If you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. You hear that? I believe that means it is time to show off the pig plush toys. We got my first Minion Pig plush, the second Minion Pig plush, and the third Minion Pig plush. And then we have an 8-inch pig plush and a second one. Of course, we can't forget the little pencil topper. And then, while technically not a Minion Pig plush, he is similar enough for me to show him off here. Postman Pig. I was lucky enough to find a bid for him starting at $18, and I ended up getting him for $50. Well, at least I got him. There's also this Minion Pig plush for the Angry Birds movie too. Next up, we have the Corporal Pig plushies, or Helmet Pig as he used to be called. We have the first 5-inch one, the second 5-inch one, and the 8-inch one. Oh, and if you ever wanted to see what a Helmet Pig looked like without its helmet, here you go. Okay, so about that, at one point I just cut off the little strings attaching the helmet to the plush, and then I realized I did not want to do that, so I had to sew them back on, or my mom did. As you can see, the front one hasn't been sewed on yet, so I have to find time to do that. Oh, and fun fact, this one I got from a friend before he moved away a few years ago. The helmet for this one was actually sewed on top like this, so the pig was upside down. We did have to cut the string off for this one intentionally. This one, I just wanted to mess around. This one, we actually had to fix it. Next up, we have the Foreman Pig, or Mustache Pig, or Grandpa Pig. This is a pig of many names. We have the 5-inch one and the 8-inch one. Now is time for the King Pigs. We have the first one, the second one. This one is slightly taller and a little more round, so I prefer this one. Oh, and of course, we can't forget the 8-inch one that I use most often. So when I got this one, the crown was already cut off at one point, and the gold is starting to come off, so I may need to get a new one in the future and cut the crown off this one so I can just have a big King Pig without a crown. Then we have the female pig plush. This one has the same face as the regular King Pig plush, so I decided to include it here. And finally, we have Leonard, also known as King Mudbeard, with this King Pig being called King Smoothcheeks, because the Pig Kings are named after their facial features for some reason. Rovio, please get this right. They are not the same characters. This is the father, this is the son, regardless of whatever dimension or universe they are from. These two characters were both supposed to be in the original movie, but then in the end they decided to just use Leonard, and now because of that, Rovio thinks they're the same character. I really just want to see these two characters in the same room. And yes, I know Angry Birds 2 exists, the game of course, but his appearance is questionably canon, and the Angryverse may have to explain that, so until then, Rovio, please fix this. Now we move on to the Rio characters. First up being Blue. There's also a second Blue, but this is the one I use in my videos. There's also Jewel, Nico, and Pedro. Oh, and we can't forget Nigel, the main villain. And we also have Louise the Bulldog and Raphael. I understand Louise not getting an Angry Birds inspired plush, but Raphael definitely should, as he also had a design similar to these guys in the artwork, so I don't know why he didn't get a plush. Anyways, these are official Rio brand plush toys. I'm just now noticing that this blue plush has a larger, darker shade of blue area around his beak, while this one has smaller and it's not that noticeably darker. Now it's time for the marmosets. We have the 5-inch marmoset and the 8-inch marmoset. And that's it. Now, due to the lack of marmosets, I had to get creative. So what I did here was I got this old sock monkey plush that I've had since I was very young and just put some, wristbands around it for Morrow, the marmoset boss. And I also used some random teddy bears and a lion as extra marmosets, since they were the next closest thing and I needed more. And finally, some random bird plushies. The American Goldfinch, the Northern Cardinal, American Robin, the Black-capped Chickadee, the Eastern Bluebird, the mallard, duckling, a wild turkey, and a bald eagle. These are all part of the Wild Republic Audubon Birds line. And then we have a TY owlet, a Wild Republic Scarlet Macaw, and an Aurora World Inc. Petey the Parrot puppet.
Wowee. This is quite the collection, wouldn't you say? And I think I might get more.
Thank you guys for 500 subscribers. I didn't think I'd get here this quick. So while I'm picking up all the plushies off my floor, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye now.